Hi, I'm Jo Panko Bailey from powerofprobiotics.com, the nutrition authority on how to be healthy yet save money with probiotics. The topic of this video is how to make homemade sauerkraut. Now, if you think you don't like sauerkraut, that's probably because you've had the canned or jarred varieties, which are heat treated, and the heat treating kills most or all of the live cultures. The sauerkraut I'm going to show you how to make today is raw and alive, and it's much cheaper than the raw varieties you can buy at the store. I think raw sauerkraut is delicious, and it tastes so different than the jarred or the canned ones. Now you can get all the details about the ingredients, the cost, and the live cultures you may find on my website at www.powerofprobiotics.com. To start, you need to decide how much sauerkraut you want to make. You need about 1 1/4 pounds of cabbage and other vegetables per quart of finished product. Next, you need to decide if you're going to use purple cabbage, sometimes called red cabbage, or green cabbage. I think the purple cabbage is a little tougher. It takes longer to ferment, and it is stronger in taste. But I like it anyway, and that's why I've previously made this 1 quart jar of just plain purple cabbage. Now that's the original recipe for sauerkraut, just plain cabbage. But today I want to show you a variation that my family and I like. And since I'm feeding a family, I'm going to use this 1 gallon jar, and I'm going to use 4 pounds of organic green cabbage and 1 pound of organic baby carrots. Now wash the produce thoroughly to begin with. And then you're going to want to take the outer leaf of the cabbage and save it. Put it aside. Chop the rest of the cabbage and the baby carrots into small pieces that are about the same size. Now you want them to be the same size because that way they'll ferment evenly and you'll have a more delicious sauerkraut. You can chop the vegetables either by hand or with a food processor, whatever's most convenient for you. I'm going to go chop my vegetables right now. So now we're ready to make the rest of the sauerkraut. You can see here I have my mix of carrots and cabbage, and I just stirred them all together. The next thing you need is some clean filtered water, some salt. I like to use what's called real salt because it has all the minerals in it that's normally found in salt. A non-metal spoon, and something to use as a weight. I have a jar here filled with water, and I have a little bowl that I'm going to use. Now I'm going to take my clean 1 gallon jar, and this is the fun part, the messy part. I'm going to start putting the chopped cabbage and carrots into the jar and push them down. Then I'm going to add more. And pack that down. And it's okay if you get messy. Cooking is supposed to be fun, and even though this isn't cooking, it still should be fun. Now I'm going to take my salt. I use about a half a tablespoon of salt per cup of water. For this gallon, I need about 7 cups of water. So I'm going to pour salt into the water, stir it up, and pour some of that in. Then I'm going to add more of my cabbage and carrots. Pack it down. Believe it or not, this whole bowl will eventually fit into this jar. Pour some more water in. And rest of the cabbage in. You have to pack it down as you go to make sure there's not a lot of air in there. Sauerkraut ferments without oxygen, so you want it to be packed as tightly as possible. There, it all fits. Now I'm going to pack it down one more time with my hand, make sure it's all packed in there, and then I'm going to pour some more water. You want this cabbage to be submerged. If it's not submerged, you'll get mold on the top and it won't work. Now, this is why you save the outer leaf. I actually saved 2 of them because they kind of tore. But you take the outer leaf and you put it on top of the shredded cabbage to keep it submerged. Take the other leaf, and I kind of crisscross them. There. Now I'm going to take a little bowl that I have that happens to fit on the inside of the jar, put it in, and then weigh it down with this jar filled with salt. Now eventually you don't have to worry about pushing too hard right now, because eventually the cabbage that's shredded will give up its water and the water level will rise. You might want to put a plate or a cookie sheet, something to catch water in case the water in this jar does overflow. But other than that, you just made some sauerkraut. I'm going to leave this sit for about 3 to 4 weeks. I'll start tasting it after about 8 days to see if it's crunchy enough and sour enough for me. But definitely within 3 to 4 weeks it'll be ready and it'll be delicious. One last thing, you want to make sure you cover your fermenting cabbage and vegetables with a clean cloth to keep out any dust and insects. I'm Jo Panko Bailey with powerofprobiotics.com, and I hope to see you on the next video.